Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to be making Nihari. It's a Desi delicacy that is of a Mughlai origin. It's super simple. So let's get to the recipe. But before that, please subscribe to my channel. So the first thing that you're going to need is some sort of a Nihari Masala. You can opt to choose the boxed kind, the pre-made ones. But this is the one I make at home. The recipe of this is mentioned in the description box. I usually make a large bottle and then I keep using it. It's good for a couple of months, so you can make it ahead of time, and whenever you want to make nihari, that step is already done and you're good to go to make your favorite dish if this is one of them. And then you will need these three spices, which I feel like are the body of Desi cuisine: coriander powder, chili powder, and turmeric powder. I'm using Kashmiri chili powder because they have a more vibrant red color. And then I'm going to be using about half a tablespoon of store-bought korma masala or Nihari masala, just for the aroma, because it gives it that restaurant-like feel. But if you don't have it, you can skip it. Then let's come to the meat. I have about 1.5 pounds of meat. It's washed and it had been staining so that there's no excess liquid in it, because the more watery your meat is, the more time it's going to take to cook, because all the water needs to evaporate. Also, ideally you need the meat from the shank, the lower limb of the animal, preferably cow, and the bone near the ankle. It's called bong and a nali in Urdu language. But since I couldn't find it, I just have a shank. Next here I've got some onions. One small onion that I chopped really thinly as I could, just like an omelette cut. Then I have some ginger paste, some garlic paste, and I have some yogurt, which I quickly whisked with a spoon before measuring it, so that when I'm making the gravy, I don't forget to whisk it, because it does make a difference. Then here I've got my homemade Desi ghee, because Nihari traditionally and authentically has to be made in ghee. But some people don't really like it, so you can completely skip it and use oil. But for more flavor, I would highly recommend using ghee, especially homemade one. It doesn't smell and it's amazing. It's beautifully fragrant. Next, what I do is I take out all my spices, I measure them, and I put them in a plate so that when I'm ready to dump them, they're all ready to go in. Now, coming towards the cooking part, I have my instant pot on saute mode. I added my ghee, and once it was melted and hot, I'm gonna add ginger, garlic, and onions. You want your onions to brown and your ginger and garlic to become fragrant. This might take a couple of minutes. And also, if you're using home chopped ginger and garlic, just maybe add them 20-30 seconds before adding the onions. I'm using a store-bought bottle one, so I'm adding them together because that tends to burn. Once that was done, I added in my meat, and now I'm gonna fry my meat till it's no longer pink and it's fairly cooked, it's slightly browned. And then I'm gonna add all my spices and I'm gonna cook it with the spices. If you feel at some point that your gravy might be burning, then just add maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of water, and you want to cook it till the oil starts to release and you can smell all the beautiful aromas. And the next thing is going to be the yogurt. So once your gravy was done, you're going to be adding yogurt on high flame, and then you're going to cook it till the water from the yogurt evaporates. The more you're going to cook it, the better the end result is going to be. So you can see here that oil has started to come out and the masala is nicely bunified, it's nicely cooked, and you can see the onions are no longer visible. So at this point I'm going to add about 4 cups of water. You can add more or less depending on how you like your nihari to be, and you're just gonna stir it. And at this point I would highly recommend tasting the salt and the spices, because once the nihari is cooked, you cannot really adjust the water and the thickness. Now I'm gonna pressure cook it for about 20 minutes. Pressure cook it on high, followed by a natural pressure release, and then we're gonna go to the next step. While my pressure is happening, I'm gonna make the slurry. I have here some all-purpose flour and some whole wheat flour. You can use either one, but I prefer to use both. It's completely optional to use both. And I'm gonna make a slurry. I'm gonna mix some water in it, and I'm gonna make something like, when you use corn flour in Chinese curries, something like that. But make sure you stain it because there are always little lumps that are left no matter how carefully you mix it up, and you don't want them to curdle up your end product. So after my nihari has been cooked, this is how it looks. I'm gonna take out some extra oil from the top to add on later. This is called I'm forgetting what this is actually called. The tari, I think. Yes, that's what it's called. And also I put on my Instant Pot to saute mode, and you had seen in the previous clip that my nihari had started bubbling. So once that was happening, I started adding slurry in a gentle stream while constantly mixing with my spoon so that it doesn't curdle, it doesn't form any lumps and bumps. And you can see that it has thickened quite a lot at this moment. If you still haven't tasted your nihari, please do it now, because once it has cooked for the final time, adding anything to it would completely destroy it because it would give it a very raw feel. To finish it off, you can either pressure cook it for 30 minutes followed by an NPR, or cook it the authentic way for at least 5 hours on slow cook. Just put your Instant Pot on slow cook and forget it for 5 hours max, a minimum. I have cooked mine overnight. I prefer to do it overnight because it gives it a better feel and a better flavors. What you saw and what you see here has been cooking for more than 12 hours. So this is the result. I added all the garnish that you typically add on a nihari. So this was the recipe for today. I really hope you like it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, the Homemaker Baker over and out.